Waiters, have you ever had to call the cops on your table? I work at an upscale steakhouse. 6 executives came in, their ringleader in his 50s, Rolex, $1,000 suit, arrogant smile. They ordered expensive wine, commenting on my appearance while ignoring their female colleague. When she stepped away, they leaned in, snickering. The ringleader placed his phone on the table facing her chair. When she returned, he covered it with a napkin, but the recording light was still blinking. Later, I found her crying in the restroom. She showed me her phone. They'd been secretly recording her, making comments about initiating her at their hotel. My manager wanted to handle it discreetly since they were important clients. I texted our ex-military chef instead. Chef approached their table. The ringleader snapped, "Get back to the kitchen." Chef played the group chat audio. The restaurant went silent. Diners turned to stare. "Do you know who I am?" the ringleader growled, standing up. "Don't care. Police are coming," Chef replied. The man swung at Chef. Big mistake. Chef had him pinned when officers arrived. Turns out he was on probation for harassment. They took him out in handcuffs. The woman still dines with us. Those executives? All fired. Sometimes justice gets served with dessert.
My girlfriend said, "I'm keeping the apartment. You can crash with your parents." After I paid the deposit and 10 months of rent, I replied, "Interesting plan." Then I called the landlord, my uncle, and explained the situation. When she got the 24-hour eviction notice, we've been together 2.5 years, 14 months living together in this nice downtown apartment that I pay for. Deposit, rent, furniture, all me. She paid for one lamp and a fake plant. I get home from work. She's sitting in the living room with her best friend. Papers all over the coffee table like she's closing on a house. She smiles, real calm. "We need to talk." Then she drops it. "We've grown apart. I'm staying here. You can crash with your parents. I already talked to your mom." I just stood there staring at her. The confidence was wild. She really said that while surrounded by stuff I bought. "You're keeping the place I paid for?" She goes, "I've been living here too. I deserve stability." What she didn't know? The landlord's my uncle. The lease has one name on it, mine. Her credit score couldn't rent a bike. So I smiled, said, "Interesting plan," went to the bedroom, and called my uncle. Next morning, he's laughing. "She's kicking you out of your own apartment? Want me to handle it?" "Yeah," I said. "Let's make it official." Next day, she's in the kitchen acting like everything's fine, flipping eggs like she didn't just tell me to pack. "Melissa, you realize I'm the only one on the lease, right?" She waves me off. "We'll figure it out with the landlord." "Good idea," I said. "He's family." Her face dropped. "Family?" "Yep, my uncle owns the building." Silence. Then she starts yelling about how it's not fair. She lives here. She buys groceries. "With my card," I said. She storms off screaming, "I'm financially abusive." Sure, abuse is paying all your bills for a year, apparently. By 2 that afternoon, my uncle's guy serves her a notice. Neighbor said she lost it, screaming in the hallway about squatters' rights like she's a TikTok lawyer. My phone blows up. "Melissa, this is illegal." Her friend, "You're heartless." Her mom, "Why would you do this?" I told her mom, "She tried to evict me from my own apartment." Her mom sighs. "Oh no, she did this to her college roommate too." Next morning, she prints out a bunch of random laws from Google. "You have to give me 30 days. Those are from California, Melissa. We live in Ohio. I'm calling the police." Okay, cops show up. "Ma'am, are you on the lease?" "No." "Do you pay rent?" "Well, then you have until 2 p.m. She cried like it was a movie. They didn't care. After they left, she's suddenly nice. "Please, can we talk?" "Nope." By lunch, she's on the phone begging every friend she has for a couch. Everyone's suddenly busy. At 5, my uncle shows up with movers. They box up her stuff in under an hour. Clothes, makeup, that gaming setup I bought her for Christmas. She's sitting on the floor crying, asking where they're taking it. "Storage me," my uncle says. "You can pay the bill." She calls her mom, who literally tells her, "You did this to yourself." Her mom offers her cousin's couch for 3 nights only. She's leaving and goes, "You'll regret this." I said, "Already did?" "That's why. It's over." That night, her friends start texting, calling me a monster for making her homeless. I said, "If she's homeless, it's because she tried to steal my home." Next day, my neighbor sends screenshots from her group chat. Turns out this whole thing was planned. "Operation Apartment," she called it. "He's too nice to fight. I'll cry. He'll cave. Worst case, I say he was abusive." Her friend, "Savage. Secure that free rent." Another message, "Once Victor's beach house is ready, I'll move there." So not only was she trying to steal my apartment, she'd been seeing some guy named Victor on the side. I sent the screenshots to her mom. 10 minutes later, Melissa calls, screaming, "You ruined everything. Victor's gone. My mom cut me off." I said, "You did that. I just stopped paying for it." Now she's bouncing between relatives, no job, no Victor, no apartment. Me, same couch, same address, zero stress. She told me I'd regret it. All I regret is not calling my uncle sooner.
My girlfriend told me to just get an Uber after my car accident while she enjoyed lunch with another guy. 3 weeks ago, I almost died. I was driving home from work when a truck came out of nowhere, swerving into my lane. My car spun across 2 lanes of traffic, the sound of crunching metal and breaking glass filling my ears as I slammed against the door. My shoulder felt like it was tearing apart. Blood was dripping into my eyes, and for one terrifying moment I thought, this is it. I'm not walking away from this. But I survived, shaking, barely able to breathe, sitting on the side of the highway with my car completely destroyed. A police officer, Miller, arrived and helped me out, calling EMTS to patch me up. He looked me over and asked gently, "Do you have someone who can come get you?" Of course, I thought of Laura. We'd been together for 2 years. We lived together. She was supposed to be my partner, my person, the one I could depend on. I called, no answer. So I sent a text, "Babe, I've been in an accident. I'm hurt. My car's totaled. Please come pick me up." And then I waited. 10 minutes, 15, 20. Finally, she replied, "OMG, are you okay? I'm at lunch with Jacob. Can you just Uber? We already ordered. Let me know when you're safe." I stared at the message, blood still on my hands, sirens fading in the background. She was too busy having lunch with another man to come get me after I nearly died. The officer saw my expression, and when I showed him the text, his jaw tightened. And that's when something inside me shifted. I felt cold, so I turned to him and asked, "Don't you sometimes sometimes have to notify family in person when there's an accident? He raised an eyebrow. Sometimes. Next of kin, emergency contacts. Why? I gave him Laura's number, told him where she was, and said, she's my emergency contact. Can you notify her? In person. He looked at me for a long moment, then nodded slowly, because just minutes before, Laura had posted an Instagram story, smiling across a table from Jacob at a fancy restaurant. Wine glasses, perfect lighting, location tagged for everyone to see. It was almost too easy. Miller left, and I sat there, replaying the last 2 years of my relationship, realizing just how blind I had been. An hour later, he returned with a subtle smile. Notification made. She'll be here soon, and she was. 45 minutes later, Laura pulled up, mascara running, eyes red, voice trembling. But I could tell immediately that her tears weren't for me. They were for herself. Later, I found out exactly what happened. Miller had walked into that restaurant in full uniform, badge shining, and announced in front of everyone, "Ma'am, I need to inform you that your boyfriend, Daniel, has been in an accident. He's injured and waiting to be picked up by his emergency contact. You." The restaurant had gone silent. Jacob froze, looking at her. "Wait, Daniel's hurt? Why didn't you say anything?" And in that moment, she admitted she already knew. She had ignored me. People gasped. Phones came out. Someone recognized her from work. She left the restaurant humiliated, the story spreading before she even made it to her car. When she picked me up, she was shaking, apologizing, promising to make it up to me. She cooked, cleaned, hovered over me as if nothing had happened. But I knew better. I knew she wasn't sorry that I was hurt. She was sorry that she'd been exposed. And then she said something that ended us for good. "Daniel, you didn't have to send a cop to embarrass me. That was cruel. That was it." She wasn't ashamed of leaving me stranded, bleeding on the highway. She was ashamed that people saw her do it. I moved out soon after. She begged, promised therapy, swore she'd cut Jacob off. But when I asked, if Jacob had been the one in that accident, would you have left lunch for him? Her silence told me everything I needed to know. A week later, she showed up at my new apartment with flowers, my favorite beer, and takeout. She cried, swore she'd changed, and then dropped her final card. "Daniel, I'm pregnant." I didn't believe her. I called my brother, recorded everything, and eventually got her to leave. The very next day, she started spreading rumors that I had abandoned her and our unborn child. But then, Jacob himself messaged me. "Daniel, I didn't know about the accident. I'm sorry. She isn't pregnant. Trust me, I know." And that was the final nail in the coffin. Laura never cried for me, never cared about me. She only cared about herself, her image, her reputation, her lies. And I learned something the hard way. When someone shows you where you really stand in their life, believe them. Laura showed me mine, and it was never me.